With the national elections by the corner, there is no saying how far Canada immigration is about to stretch us. In terms of policies, it is just so disheartening. I was watching the news today as I watched the Minister of Immigration, Mac Miller, and the Employment Minister, Randy Boissonneau, talk about the changes that they're implementing come November 1st, 2024. My heart just was leaving my chest, because honestly, I really don't know what will come of the people that are already in the system, people who are really greatly affected by this entire process and messing up people's plans and people's my heart goes out to you if this process affects you in any way. Okay, what is what it is. This is not the time to sit down and be depressed or be sad or be frustrated. Oh, what am I going to do? Just think, take your time, breathe. Okay, what you should be doing right now is making the next strategic step to ensure that whatever information is out there, whatever thing you need to do to get you on your feet and to get you set on the right path, you are doing it immediately. It's not the time to even throw a pity party. I'm sorry, but there's no time. Speed has never mattered than now. So I'm just saying, if there's any information that you need, start looking for it. Go to the ends of the earth. Do whatever is required of you and leave the rest for God. And also to encourage you, okay? For those of you who are still back home and you really want to come to Canada and all of these policies are really frustrating you, the Employment Minister, Randy, stated clearly, Canada's growth, the growth of Canada's economy depends 99% on newcomers and immigrants. That means they will still keep taking. It's not as if they're closing the road or they are blocking it completely. They're just saying now that they're going to be more careful, more intentional, more detailed about who they bring in. So you just make sure that you meet all the criteria, okay? Whatever it is that they want, give it to them. Package your applications properly. Position yourself like the right candidate in any of the aspects that you want to go through, and you will get it. Okay, so don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let anything discourage you. It is not today started and it will not end today. Okay, now I'm going to walk you through all the policies that Mac Miller and Randy Boissonneau talked about today that they will be implementing come November 1st, 2024. Let's go. The goal of the entire policy is, first of all, to reduce the number of temporary residents within Canada. So everybody who is not a permanent resident or a citizen, every other person who falls under the temporary residence canopy, reduce the number of people there, and send some people back home or deny them the opportunity to stay. And then the second, which is tighten the route for those who are planning to come in. So reduce those that are here and make it difficult for others to come in. Earlier this year, the Honorable Minister introduced a cap to the amount of study visas that were going to be granted to international students, to about 485,000. Now, this is the new policy, announcing a further reduction in the intake cap of international students, meaning there will be a 10% reduction of the 2024 target, which was about 485,000, making it now 437,000. So if before they wanted to allow in 485,000 international students, it has been reduced now grossly to 437,000. Okay, what this means is that the road is tighter now. So only the best of the best will get in. Only the tightest application, only the people that prove and show beyond doubts that they are coming to study and that they really want to school and they are doing the right courses will be the ones who will get in. I have filmed a very powerful video on the strategies that you need to take to help combat some of these policies if you are planning to come in 2025. Watch out for that video. It's dropping on Tuesday evening. Okay, if you find this girl very useful, please, I would appreciate a like, just one like. Okay, please, so my video can keep going. Thank you very much. Now let's continue. The second policy is for postgraduate work permits. Now, before now, if you do, in fact, the law keeps changing. Before 2024, if you do a 1-year course, you get a 1-year work postgraduate work permit. If you do a 2-year course, you get a 3-year postgraduate work permit. Earlier this year, that changed and they stopped every kind of postgraduate work permit for private colleges. They allowed it for just public colleges, masters, and PhD. Updating the post-graduation work permit program this fall to better align with immigration goals and labor market needs. Graduates from programs at public colleges will remain eligible for a PGWP of up to 3 years if they graduate from a field of study linked to occupations in long-term shortages. My goodness, this one really just scattered my head, because what they're saying right now is that except the course that you studied is linked to the areas where Canada has job shortages, that is the only way you will get a 3-year work permit. How people have spent so much money on school fee? No, this one just took me out. I don't know. My heart goes out to you guys. I don't know how this is going to happen, but there's going to be like a program delivery instructions by November 1st, where we'll understand in detail how they intend to do all of this. What will be the benchmark? What will be the decision making points? How they intend to implement it is not clear right now. Okay, but stay subscribed. Okay, I would continue to share information as they drop first hand. Okay, you don't have to worry about anything. I will share information as it drops to update you, but I'm just letting you know that I don't know, believe me, I don't know. But they're saying now that if your course of study is not linked properly to a course that needs people, you may not be eligible for a 3-year work permit. The second part is that all applicants for postgraduate work permit program will be required to demonstrate a minimum language proficiency in French or English. This will increase their ability to transition to PR and adapt to changing economic conditions. So if you are a graduate from a college, you are expected to show CLB 5, which is about band 5, band 4, band 5 in IELTS. You have to write the IELTS exam and score CLB 5 if you are a graduate from the college. But if you are a graduate from the university, you are expected to have CLB 7. Now, I don't think this is so much of a big deal if you ask me, because the reason I say it's not so much of a big deal is because if you are someone who wants to get PR after school, you will write IELTS, right? So it's still in the same path. The only difference now is that you have to write it before you apply. So there are so many parts to this thing, right? So first of all, if you are ready to apply now, you are done with school, don't delay, because from November 1st, all of these policies start to apply. So possibly if you apply before then, the instructions or those information will not apply to you. Do you understand? But if you delay, you see why I spoke about speed? If you delay, then you are in trouble. Just know that you are in trouble. So there is no point wasting time at all. Start preparing. If you know that you're not going to be able to submit before November 1st, make sure that you start looking for IELTS centers, you start studying. I don't think it's going to be so much for you if you have gone to school. At least getting a CLB 7 or a CLB 5 should not be so much of a burden, but do not waste time. At this point, time is your most essential tool. Don't waste it, literally. Okay, now on to the third policy. Here this year, we were told that for spousal work permit, only people for spousal work permit, if you do a diploma course in a college, be it a public college or a private college, a certificate course, you are not allowed to sponsor bring your spouse over with the spousal open work permit, okay, which is the SOWP. However, if you do a master or a postgraduate or a PhD, you are eligible to bring your spouses over. Now, the news has been updated again. If you are doing a master course, your course has to be 2 years, which is about 16 months minimum. Okay, so 16 months minimum above before you can qualify for SOWP for your spouse. So those of you who are coming to do a 1-year masters, abort quickly. Start looking for getting information on what you need to do to make a smart move, because you will not be eligible to bring your spouses over if you do a master of 1 year, which is 12 months. Okay, anything less than 6 months, so a master's that is 10 months and maybe a project period, or maybe 2 or 3 semesters, as long as it hits 16 months. Anything less than 16 months, I'm sorry, your family cannot come. Okay, so make sure that you put that into consideration. Now, another thing that affects masters, my goodness, another policy that came was that the 2025-2026 study permit intake cap will include masters and doctoral students who will now have to submit a provincial or territorial attestation letter. Now, earlier this year, we're also informed that students have to submit attestation letters before they can apply for their visas. Now, the idea of that attestation letter was that a lot of people were coming into Canada with fake admission letters. And we heard it was a time where there were so many people being deported and being banned for years because of that. And so to cut down those fake admission letters, the immigration team decided that they were going to create the provincial attestation letter. So when your the province you are schooling at gives you that letter, it is proof that truly your admission is legal, amongst many other reasons, but that was one of the major reasons why they initiated that. Okay, they mentioned that you would only need that if you are attending a college, not masters or PhD. Now it has changed. Whether you are doing a master's or a doctoral degree, you need to come with a PAL, which is a provincial or territorial attestation letter. We will be reserving approximately 12% of allocation spaces for these students in recognition of the benefits they bring to Canadian labor markets. There is no saying, it goes without saying at this point, that Canada respects people who do masters and PhD. I don't need to finish that statement, right? You know what to do. Anyway, in the words of Mac Miller himself, at the time when they improved this, when they opened the doors for immigrants to come into Canada, Canada was having serious shortages, especially during the time of the pandemic. Okay, so clearly they did not anticipate that they would get this amount of people, or that the economy would experience such a tremendous impact by that policy. And so they are now making amends to see that they are now making policies to see that they can amend all of the errors they made with those policies. Believe me, is it sad? It is sad. Like, I've been thinking about it over and over again, and I just can't figure out how people who are greatly affected by this will be feeling right now. However, in my next video, I'm going to talk in-depthly about how you should re-strategize yourself. Listen, if by any chance you are currently affected by this, or you are not here yet, or you are here and you are just thinking of the next move to make, as the immigration team is building new strategies to block you, you also build new strategies to squeeze your way through. Do you understand? So I think you can be very strategic. All you have to do is show that you are the right candidate, show that you have the right intentions, that you are here as a whatever you come as, and that you are here you mean good for the economy, literally. Okay, that is just what they want to see. So don't get discouraged, don't throw a pity party. Okay, this is not time to start wailing and weeping in your misfortune or in the loss. Okay, focus on what you need to do next. This would be a good time for you to please drop a like, just one like on my video. I would really appreciate it. I make a lot of videos on immigration, life in Canada, scholarships. If you think it's something that you would find interesting, please check my channel. Okay, for LMIA, for PROs, there will be more information that would be discussed in-depthly on November 1st. So November 1st is when a lot of these policies will get into action, or when to start to become implemented. However, there will still be more information that will be dropped on those other areas, so I don't want to talk on them because they're not fully fleshed out yet. Another big one is they will be limiting work permit eligibility later this year to spouses of foreign workers in management or professional occupations, or in sectors with labor shortages, under Canada's work permit programs TFWP and INP. So if you have a spouse here who is a foreign worker in Canada, or if you are a foreign worker in Canada, you can only invite your spouses over if you are working in labor shortage areas. So those areas where they are in demand. I'm going to make in my next video, I'm going to talk in depthly about the areas that are in demand, the courses that are in demand, the jobs that are in demand, so you know that so that when you're applying to the right things. Okay, there's no point wasting time doing courses that will not pay you in Canada anymore. So watch out for that video. I'm going to talk about that in depthly. Good. Now, if you find this video useful, please drop a like, drop a comment, and tell me, what are your thoughts, what are your struggles? Share your struggles. Let somebody who knows something tell you something in the comment section. Okay, don't just keep to yourself. Say what it is that you're feeling, say what it is that you're experiencing, and let someone who has information share with you. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Mwah.
I've been so busy, but I've been thinking about